Full disclosure, news and commentary number 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. Ah, yeah! Feels good to be back doing this again. Right after this, after it uploads, I'm going to knock out a Patreon video. I got to get back on that horse, doing 2 at least a week. Woo! A couple people have really come through as far as the Patreon. Of course, thanks to Brett, Brian, Dan, Derek, Diana. Woo, a lot of D's there. Jeffrey, Josh, Larry, not that one, the other one. Logan, Rob Rod, Southern Honor, Double Drop Kick, and the OG Myron, of course. 3 people have stepped up or are already at the $25 level. So they're helping to pay for those Goodman Awards that are being made to be distributed for the winners of 2020. I suspect a couple of them because they think they're going to win one of those awards. That's fantastic. So special thanks to Viral Pro for being at the $25 level. Of course, Eric, better known as Dynamite Soul, a guy I respect a lot, who's contributing at the $25 level, and the Tag Team Transcendent, who has set a goal of winning Tag Team or Stable of the Year, but their contributions are much appreciated. Yeah, what are we going to talk about, by the way, in that Patreon video? It's going to be predictions that Gary Lamb, who, by the way, has been on a hot streak, no doubt about it. But it's stuff that Gary Lamb said during 2019 that absolutely were fucking wrong. That's part of what the Patreon's about. Also a study of a couple of the interesting other characters in Georgia and my weird interactions with them. And a couple of the references that I've made that almost nobody's picked up on. So I'm going to clue in my Patreon people who contribute at least at the $5 level about that. And a lot of people were really excited about the shit show investigations. But I'm going to tell you the story of the first group that I was going to do my shit show investigations on. And how I possibly got them to fucking not do a show at all. But I've picked a second group for my shit show investigations. I'm in contact and messaging back and forth with them now. So I'll let everybody know for sure what that's going to be, assuming they're okay with having me there and all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to gotcha anybody, but I'm going to do this shit show investigation thing. It's going to happen. All right. Now, I put out a picture about this earlier with me with I don't remember the word that I even put on my fucking lip for a mustache, but skeptical, I believe, was the word, because I got a package today. There's a few that I have, but this one was intriguing because written on it was basically, "This will be the best thing you've ever received." It's pretty ballsy. It's also in a package that most of them come like this label's kind of fucking loose. It just seems really spurious. It's obviously wasn't sent from like Ripped Apparel or anything like that. But I'm gonna tear into this. I love the brashness and the ballsiness of people lately. By the way, what is our commentary about? Our commentary is about Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which it is today. You're not gonna want to fucking miss it. Commentary is going to be a fucking big one. This show's going to be a fucking big one. Let's get to it. So unwrap this bitch. Seems like a great... Sorry, I'm not... Somebody messaged me and said I should be more gentle with the packages as I open them. There's 2 kinds of people. There's those that sort of rip into Christmas presents and the like by like methodically taking off the tape and unwrapping the thing like it's the motherfucking Constitution and that they're going to save the paper for later. And then there's motherfuckers like me, tear shit open. I tear shit open. It's a shirt. That's good. And God, this fucking thing fell the fuck apart. I am just going to whatever the image is here, and I haven't seen it, so I'm going to unfurl it for the world, and hopefully it's not something fucking embarrassing. Ready? I'm ready. Ooh, it's like very. I don't know, the whatever the graphic is in the front, looks like it's a big ass picture, is very like thick and heavy. It's good. 1, 2, 3, unfurl. What is it? Holy fucking shit! Fucking put that shit on! Oh my fucking god! Who fucking sent? No fucking return address, you motherfucker. I don't think there was a note. No, I tore the package in fucking half, so there was no note. Oh. 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 My birthday, by the way, is February 9th. I'm going to be 48 years old. Wow, it's weird. I'm going to probably be close to full disclosure, number 48. I'm going to have a party at my place on February 8th. I'm going to probably put out some event thing on Facebook about it. If people want to fucking come to that motherfucker, just let me know. You are more than welcome. It's going to be a blood in, blood out themed party. It's my favorite fucking underrated movie. It's one of my 5 favorite movies of all time. We're going to watch that shit. I'm going to make tacos locos forever. We're going to have a fucking good ass time. I'm also looking into getting a cake done with the famous picture that the guys took in prison. La Honda took in a fucking prison. Hopefully that will be the cake. It's going to be a good time will be had by all. This shirt is the shit. I'm fucking I was already fired up to do this shit. We might have a couple of fucking little features that we're going to add to the show tonight. We shall see. Let's look at it. First, in true unprofessional style, I sent out a message about something. I want to see if the person got back with me. They did not. Fuck. This might be a follow-up video then. Total Aggression Pro apparently drew 131 in the Landmark Arena. And they're, yeah. APW with 89, a respectable crowd. They did not sell, apparently, to anybody. We'll see. We'll see how they continue to go. GPW with 140. One thing I would suggest for GPW and other groups have had like the logo of their organization. Perfectly acceptable. GPW had a picture of the New Order or whatever their NWO-esque group is, Allen Angels and Company. The picture wasn't really fucking great. I would suggest whatever picture, the logo of your group, of your organization is fine. If you're gonna submit a picture, think about that picture. Pictures are really fucking important. Yeah. In fact, fuck it. Rat. What were the best pictures and the most memorable pictures of 2019? Close your eyes and think about it now. There were pictures that loosely had to do with the event. Now, what are the best pictures we've had in 2020? They're all owned by fucking Southern Honor. William Huckabee crashed, and so many people sent me pictures of William Huckabee unconscious on that fucking spider-webbed fucking windshield. Right? The picture that Rob Rod had on his report of that humongous crowd surrounding the fucking car where the fight was taking place. These are the images that you want. This is an image that you want. Forever! I have this picture, and now I've got it on a fucking shirt. And right now, Jeff G. Bailey is looking, and he's jealous as fuck. And that pleases me. The pictures from your event should make other people jealous as fuck. Can you do it? Can you do it? Are people excited about the thought of having a Goodman Award in their fucking hot little hand in 2020 at the end? Goddamn right. And you know what they're probably going to do? They're going to fucking put that fucking award somewhere important or hold on to it and have a picture taken with it. Why? One, to show their victory, and two, to make other people fucking jealous. Never underestimate the power of trying to make other people jealous. Does that appeal to people's better instincts? Probably not, but it's the absolute truth. And it's why, at some point, a bunch of people who look at my videos are mad about this shit. Fucking Steve has a fucking painting. And I didn't get that made for myself, in spite of what people seem to think. That was a gift from the boys, particularly Johnny Danger, who organized it, and the boys chipped in, and they got that for me. At sacred ground, like it wasn't a big enough fucking deal. And people gave me other things, like compiling all these PCW posters for me. It's awesome. And this right here, a thing that my daughter sent to me, very fucking heartfelt note when I needed it. It's wonderful. But pictures. I need better pictures from events. That is my challenge. I want accurate crowd counts, but I want some great fucking pictures. I love that I got pictures from different groups. What is the image that you want people to walk away with and the people who weren't there to remember? End of rant. Southern Fried with 200. They're very happy about that crowd, very hyped about that crowd. My favorite picture from that event is fucking David Manders and Matt Griffin pointing to each other. I thought it was great. Very, very interesting. PCW with 31. Oh, fuck a duck. Matt Hankins fucking chewing nails, spitting mad about that shit. Believe we talked about it. They got the good news is there's only one way to go, which is never the truth. I hate that saying, actually. There's only one way to go, and it's either up or down. No, it's up or die. So PCW has no plans on dying, so up they must go. Let's talk about Renegade Championship Wrestling drawing 122 and IWE, when people were going to the show, pulling it out and going over 200 for the first time. Think they were excited about their biggest crowds ever? Rant number 2. Fuck yeah, they were. They're fucking proud. They were fucking excited. And their fans were fucking messaging me, sending me fucking pictures. Of course, the promoters and stuff were too, but their fans were sending me fucking pictures. Their fans were talking shit about who they saw as their rivals. And guess what? IWE does see other groups as rivals. Guess what? Renegade Championship Wrestling, they do as well, though they're not as vocal about it. And the guy who runs Renegade Championship Wrestling, nice fucking guy. Gary Lamb is fucking proud as punch. Yeah. That Renegade is the group that Gary Lamb wanted me to fucking talk up. What the fuck am I going to talk up when they're doing shit shows? What can I talk up now? 122? Excited fucking fans? I see that promoter and other people fucking putting out shit, promoting the fucking show, and it's paying off. Now there's something fucking good to talk about. Congratulations to Renegade Championship Wrestling. Congratulations to IWE. They're making the right moves. They're putting in the fucking work. And do you feel that on the back of your neck, other promotions in Georgia? That's the hot breath of IWE knocking on the top 10 promotions in Georgia. Remember, WrestleMania, around there, I'm going to do the what are the top 10 promotions again. How much is it going to shuffle? How much is it going to change? Which groups are gunning for the number 2 spot? Which groups hope to get to the number 1? And then which groups are looking to crack into the top 10 and knock out those 3 groups that I put at 10? It's going to be a fucking war. And I fucking love it. And even the people who are appearing to be allies, we're allies. We're great. We're get along. Go to each other's show. Everything is right. It's hunky-dory. If you think for 1 minute they're not going to fucking smile taking your spot, you don't know wrestling. You don't know wrestling. Whew. All right. I think I'm ranted out. We'll see. Anyway, Pro South, again, they've moved the game, which is, what is their crowd? Nobody talks about it. They just talk about the show that they're putting on, the people that they're bringing in, the interesting things they're doing. I was honestly only interested in one thing, and that was the presence of an Austin Towers. Do you know who he is? Rant number 3. I fucking lied. We got another rant. Austin Towers. Big gentleman. Right? Big, huge, tall guy who likes wrestling, who trained at WWA 4. And a lot of people put a lot of stock into him. And then he just kind of fell out. He's the worst thing in some ways that you can be, which is unreliable. And people question his heart and people question his dedication. Now he's doing Pro South, which is a good thing. Will he stick to it? I hope so. Will he get a shot at being in a different league? If you're big enough and you're willing to wrestle, I would say yes, you'll have a shot. But what are the chances that he'll pull out of this thing and really make some kind of significant impact outside of Pro South? Now, Pro South is a great place to sort of make your name because any number of people who are strongly affiliated with other promotions wrestle there. So only they can tell me whether Austin Towers has his head really in the game, if he's worth the shit. Now, some people would say, Steve, that's really mean. Maybe his only goal is to just have fun once in a while and wrestle for Pro South. Sorry, if you have the fucking physical tools and the desire to do this wrestling thing and you don't see where it can take you, you ain't shit. And get the fuck out of the way and let other people do it. There are a lot of shows that run in Georgia. But there are a lot of people who want to do it too. I hope Austin Towers gets his head screwed on right. Maybe it's like the question of somebody finding something interesting for that young man to do and challenging him. I always suspect that wrestlers like Austin Towers need to be challenged. But sometimes wrestlers like Austin Towers don't like to be challenged at the same time. Wrestlers, you got to transcend yourself a little bit. You got to rise up. You got to meet a challenge. I hope Austin Towers can take advantage of that potential. Now, he may be saying, and others might be saying, well, who is Steve to fucking say who should have, what you should do with your own potential? I'm Steven Platinum, motherfucker. That's who. And I'm saying Austin Towers might be big. He's never been much of a workout king. I saw some old footage of him, and it's like, fuck, dude. Fucking work out a little bit. Because better to try and fail than to not try and then later on look back and go like, I could have done more. And right now you're on the path of, I could have done more, Austin Towers. And this might apply to other people. And don't fucking wait. And if it's a matter of, well, I want to really do my own fucking thing, then come up with something fucking great and do it and prove everybody else wrong. Or take guidance from people and fucking come up with something more interesting. Tipping point tomorrow. We're going to have Jordan Oliver, who's 20 years old, wrestling for MLW. I fucking love that clique that he's in. Part of Young, Dumb, and Broke. Jimmy Rave trained guy. And we're also going to have Les Thatcher, who's celebrating his 45th anniversary from when he stopped doing Georgia Championship Wrestling. So he stopped doing Georgia Championship Wrestling more than 2 decades past how long Jordan Oliver's been alive. It's going to be an interesting fucking show. That's for damn sure. I am going to do a Be Kind review this week where I'm going to look at that podcast that centers around South Georgia. I'm going to, all Elite Marks keep sending me their fucking podcast, and now they're doing them on the regular again. I'm going to listen to one, and if this one fucking sucks, I'm not going to fucking listen to another one for a long ass time. That's my challenge to them. And I'm going to take a look at Drew Blood's series, Catch As Catch Can. He's got 2 in the can, and third one coming out very soon. I'm going to take a look at those and review those. Again, very excited. A lot of people have watched and are continuing to watch my fucking reaction video to Jeff G's Chapter 3. So that's wonderful. Are we ready for the commentary? I hope so. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm going to start with obviously it feels like it's going to be a very serious one, right? And one thing that was interesting about the Tessa Blanchard, if you haven't looked at my last Every Cloud Has a Platinum Lining, by the way, I'm watching A Knight's Tale. Yeah, love A Knight's Tale. Love it, love it, love it. Heath Ledger and that fucking hot as ball Sassamon chick, and it's fucking weird, and I just love the whole message of change your stars. Yeah. Martin Luther King Jr. was about changing the stars as well. But anyway, I was going back to the Tessa Blanchard thing that I did. I'm glad that people are participating and giving me a grade and telling me where they think I was wrong. I love it. I do. And I'm getting a lot of messages from pretty notable people in wrestling about it and how they're afraid to, and sometimes publicly support it or even publicly rail against something that I've said, so they just sort of let me know in private, which is perfectly fine. It's your right. And I'm very interested. But the one critique that I hate, that I'm always going to hate, is people are like, who are you to judge? Who are you to say that you could judge? And, you know, maybe they're right. Who am I to judge? And I mean, who am I to speak about Martin Luther King Jr. Day and its relation with Georgia wrestling? I shouldn't judge at all, perhaps. Maybe I shouldn't judge. Okay. Hear ye, motherfuckers! I will always judge. Motherfucking Wrestler's Court with Judge fucking Platinum is in session. Rise, bitches! Ah, you may be seated, since chances are you're sitting on a fucking toilet anyway. It's Judge. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Judge Platinum, this is fucking Wrestler's Court. Who's on trial? Georgia promotions and Georgia wrestlers, and whether they're living up to the dream. What dream? Jesus, you ignorant motherfuckers. This one. Let's listen to the audio. Mm-hmm. Men and women in Georgia wrestling. Red Hills of Georgia. Black and white. Are they going to sit down together? I picked out a couple of the highlights from the speech. Mm-hmm. It's fucking great. It's fucking brilliant, right? The red hills of Georgia. Not judged by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. The crooked places will be made straight. Guess which one I'm interested in? All of it. But yeah, man, I'm all about fucking checks and balances and fucking checking these motherfucking promoters that have run fucking roughshod, trying to eliminate lying from wrestling promotions as much as possible. There's a lot there. Are the sons of slaves and the sons of slave owners working together in Georgia wrestling effectively, smoothly? Kind of. And again, what I'm going to say in this commentary, I imagine a lot of people are going to be pissed off. Maybe everybody's going to be pissed off. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it as long as it's facilitating the discussion. And it's not me who's initiating this discussion, it's just me who's just joining it. All right? Let me just say that right off the bat. For the culture, ACH. Matt Hankins, promoter and booker. AWE, Shug, Jacob Ashworth. The wrestlers who contacted me asking, is it okay if I continue to work at Southern Fried? I'm conflicted. Hitting you with some pretty heavy shit. Who are the champions? Who are the bookers? What are the stories being told? The answers to all these questions are complicated in many ways. And no, I don't feel 100% qualified talking about black and white issues in Georgia wrestling entirely. I will say, I think the stories are becoming more complicated, more nuanced, more interesting, more modern. I will say that there is a temptation for people in power and authority in Georgia wrestling to pat themselves on the back in regards to race, right? There is a temptation, even amongst me and others, to go, well, look at the Georgia Wrestling History Awards. We've never had more black representation and blah, blah, blah. And while that is true, the fact that we even break things down in that manner can be problematic. Joe Black shouldn't be shocked that somebody tells him he is intelligent. I shouldn't feel hyper conscious to not say certain things about Joe Black for fear of seeming patronizing. I wanted to describe him as articulate because it's true. But I knew that that was a common way, a common coded way to be patronizing towards black people. Obama, he's so well spoken. But that's a compliment. How can it be? Because the implication is it's an aberration from the norm. Instead of just being exceptional for what's already taking place. Do you get the distinction? Instead of most black people are not well spoken, but you are. Yay. what we would want to get across is you are exceptionally well spoken over everybody. But that's not how it's been used in the past. So now it controls how we think of and how we see things through a certain lens. Georgia wrestling is better than it has been in regards to racial representation, gender representation, sexual identity in their representation. But because it's better than it ever been, does it mean that it's anything close to ideal? No. And that's a harsh thing to hear. I'm going to name promotions, and I just want you to wrap your mind around them as far as what are the stories being told, who's being represented how, and which promoters and bookers are overtly interested in getting to know the wrestlers under their charge and tell the most interesting stories. Southern Honor, think about it. Southern Fried, Action, Viral, Anarchy, Peach State, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Southern Violence, Spine Buster, and of course every other wrestling promotion. What about the ones that you work for? Have you had a black champion? Have you had a black champion that you booked incredibly well? Have you had black main eventers that got extended, fantastic angles? The answer might be yes. The answer might be no. The answer might be you trying to convince yourself that you've done more than you have. Hard questions. And the reaction is probably to turn away. The reaction is probably to somehow blame me for bringing it up. Or the reaction might be, from some people, that I'm not saying enough or asking enough hard questions. Well, let me continue to ask some hard questions. How can you get better? And for the wrestlers, white, black, otherwise, are you demanding more from yourself? Things aren't 100% fair. And I would dare say they never have been, and I dare further to say they never will be. But there are opportunities that perhaps were not there before. I look at someone like AC Mack, and I love the very idea of him and his execution of what he does. I love it. But there is little doubt that more work needs to happen. We're in a different era. It's 2020. And this is incredibly harsh. We have to do more, and we have to do better. And frankly, people need to be more supportive. There are black bookers, black promoters, black wrestlers, black female wrestlers. And of course, there are white wrestlers, white bookers, white promoters, white female wrestlers. How can we go harder? How can we go more interesting? Hmm? Here's my final thought about all of it. If I put you in an uncomfortable place, on one hand, I'm sorry. But on the other hand, I'm glad. It's okay to be uncomfortable, as long as you don't retreat into just numbing the pain. Are there stories that you can tell that are better? I'm just talking about in general, because ultimately that's the point. There are stories to be told and things to be explored that have yet to be explored. Everybody acts like every story in wrestling's been done and every story's been told. And there are no ways to really skin the cat in a different way, and everything's just a rehash of. Let me pose this question, this rhetorical question. Perhaps, maybe, all the stories from a straight white male perspective have been told in wrestling. Doesn't that leave you a whole plethora of new stories to tell? Of course it does. How the conflicts happen are the most interesting parts of things. When you look at the rise of someone like Ashton Starr, and now where he wants the focus to go, or Suge, Joe Black, William Huckabee, undeniable. What's going to happen now? Final thought, final question, and perhaps the harshest judgment of all. And this is an indictment on everybody almost equally. Pet peeve of mine. I hate fucking holiday themed shows. Mostly because I hate the names. If I have to read about one more Christmas chaos or seasons beatings or holiday whatever the fuck, and there's a million different Halloween shows, most of whom have shitty names. There's a million Christmas shows, and there's usually a July 4th-ish show, and summer this, summer bash, summer that. Because we want to honor the major holidays and the major events. Yet, so many black wrestlers, black bookers, black promoters, and all the rest of it allow me to play this card that my child made for me, the ultimate reverse card. Where the fuck are the wrestling shows in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.? Where the fuck are they? This has been Full Disclosure.